Titan Level 11 upgrade. Guys, today I'm going to be installing the Traxxas TRX 2.5R racing engine. This was donated to me by Coyote0976. Thank you very, very much. Let's go ahead and check this thing out. Alright guys, let's go ahead and open this thing up. Now I've never had a new nitro engine before, so this is definitely a new experience for me. So inside we have a whole bunch of paperwork. We're going to start off with the parts list as well as diagram. Believe me, that is very helpful. We have, I'm assuming, the warranty, yep, or registration. Then we have the carburetor configuration, which is freaking awesome. We got it for the Revos, the Maxes, the Nitro Fortec, as well as the Rustler and Sport. That is awesome. Then we have stickers, of course. Always gotta love the stickers. We have the manual, which I'm sure shows you everything about the engine, including breaking it in, adjustments, maintenance, all that fun stuff. And then we have the engine itself, guys. Oh, there it is. Look at how pretty you are. Oh, guys, I love this. Simply love it. Wow. Wow. So they do include the carburetor. That is downright awesome. They don't include the clutch or the clutch bell and all that other stuff, so I'm going to have to install that. Thankfully, though, Coyote0976 did send me all those parts as well, so those will be new for Titan. Wow. Wow. They also include a pull starter, which is nice, but I'm not going to be using that. I'm going to be switching it out for the easy start. We also have optional part to hook it up to the other models. And then we have air filter fuel, or oil I mean, which, believe me guys, I need this stuff. And then of course we have the high quality foam that Traxxas is known for, and that's it. Guys, we gotta get this thing installed immediately. So first things first, I need to go ahead and adjust the fuel intake as well as the carburetor and the throttle arm. And that information is all on here. So first thing I'm going to do is pop off the air filter just like that. Now first thing I'm going to do is the throttle arm. Now the throttle arm is held in place with a little grub screw. So I'm going to loosen that up. There we go. Now I can rotate it. Now I'm going to look on there and you can see that that is the position that it's supposed to be on. So we'll go ahead and match that up just right. That looks close enough for me. Next up, I need to go ahead and adjust the carburetor on the engine. Now, thankfully, it looks like it's already set to the proper setting, which is awesome. Cool. All right, I don't have to worry about that. Last is the fuel intake, which is this little thing right here. Now in order to adjust that, you're going to have to undo this brass part right here. And usually a socket wrench will not fit there. But lucky for me, I have a part or a wrench, socket wrench that will allow me to do that. So I'm going to rotate it all the way around. And as you can see, I cannot get it on there. So I'm going to have to take this all the way off. It's never going to be easy. And I'm going to rotate it in that direction. Now this part is very, very, very crucial, guys. Do not over tighten this brass part. Otherwise it will crack your carburetor. Believe me, I have done this in the past. Okay, so the fuel, as you can see, should be pointing out just like that. Hey, cool. Looks like I got it dead on without even trying. So like I said, guys, be very careful. You do not want to over tighten this. You just want it slightly snug and it should be good. Well, everything looks like it's adjusted. I'm going to go ahead and unscrew this. Now it's time to go ahead and get it installed. So before I get started, I'm going to give you guys a helpful little tip. Now since I'm going to be working on the engine, there's a good chance I'm going to be tilting the exhaust downwards. And when that happens, nitro fuel is going to leak out. If you've been running your nitro a lot lately, there's a good chance that there's a buildup of fuel in there. So just plug it out with some paper towels and you should be good. So the first thing to removing my engine is I'm going to be unplugging the fuel line that goes to the exhaust, as well as a fuel line that goes to the carburetor. Next up, I need to undo the 4 screws that hold the engine down to the engine mount. There's 2 on this side and 2 on that side. Once that's taken care of, I'm going to go ahead and undo the screw and nut that holds the exhaust to the chassis. Once that's taken care of, if you have the Easy Start system, you're going to have to remove the connector that goes to the RC. It's only held in with 2 screws. Last but not least, you're going to go ahead and disconnect the throttle arm from the carburetor. All you have to do is pop it off. Once all that is taken care of, all you have to do is tilt the engine forward, lift up, and out. So the first thing I'm going to do is remove the exhaust. It's only held on with 2 screws. So here's a fair warning. From this moment on, there's a good chance that the engine's going to be leaking some sort of oil. So just want to go ahead and let you know. With that being said, let's go ahead and pull off the exhaust. And yep, you can see that there is some fuel coming out. Now it's time to go ahead and remove the Easy Start system. I'm going to start by pulling off the glow plug igniter wire, and then I'm going to undo these 3 screws that hold on the Easy Start. Now we can go ahead and pull off the Easy Start system, and inside you're going to want to be very careful because there we have the one-way bearing. And guys, that thing only rotates in one direction, so make sure that it stays exactly how it is. Now that we have that out of the way, it's time to go ahead and remove the clutch bell. Now Coyote already donated all this stuff for me, but still I'm going to go ahead and show you how to take it off. First of all, I'm going to remove this giant E-clip. Once you remove the E-clip, you can see that there is a washer on there. You're going to go ahead and pull that off, followed by the clutch bell itself. And yes, there is a bearing that goes in on each side. Then we have the shoes, which easily come right on off. And now it's time to go ahead and undo this nut. Now more than likely you are definitely going to need some pliers because guys, that nut is going to be on there very tight. And if it isn't, you should be afraid. Let's go ahead and get this off. And now in order to pull off the flywheel, what you're going to do is hold it just like this, put it on a hard surface, and then you're going to tap this side very lightly on each side with a hammer, preferably a rubber mallet. Once you get this piece off, all you have to do is get this cone washer. And as you can see, there's going to be a little gap for you to go ahead and use a flathead screwdriver. And then you can go ahead and pry it off. Just like that. And now, it's your choice what you want to do with the old engine. If you want to throw it away, go for it. If you want to give it away, do that too. But for me, I've got other plans for it. So now it's time to go ahead and put all that stuff on the new engine. First of all, we're going to start off with the cone washer, which is part number 3281. Now if you have some problems pushing that all the way down, you can always pry it open with a flathead screwdriver right there. Next, after that, we have the flywheel. Now Coyote gave me the one with the magnet in it, part number 6542. Just going to go ahead and slide that on, and now we have this nut that's going to hold it all in place. And just with like taking it off, you're going to hold this with a pair of pliers and then you're going to tighten it down. Once that's taken care of, you're going to go ahead and get the clutch shoes, part number 4146X, and you're just going to go ahead and slide it onto the 2 pegs on the flywheel. If you're wondering about the position, remember that on the left, the hole goes on top. Now we're going to get the clutch bell. We're going to install a bearing on each side, and once you get that on there, you're just going to go ahead and slide the clutch bell on. Finally, it's topped off with a washer, and finally an E-clip. And there you have it, guys. Now we can go ahead and take off the pull starter because, well, I'm not going to be using it. And now as you can see, the pull starter uses 4 screws instead of 3. Okay, now I'm going to pull off the pull starter, and there's that one-way bearing. I'm going to pull that out. And then I'm going to stick that into the Easy Start system. Push that all the way down. And then I'm going to attach it to the new engine using 3 screws. Once all that's back together, it's time to go ahead and reattach the exhaust. And yes, it's only held in with 2 screws. With that taken care of, all that's left is to go ahead and reattach the glow plug wire onto the glow plug like that, and now I can go ahead and attach this to the RC. So before I put it in there, I went ahead and put the 4 mounting screws in, otherwise I am not going to be able to push them in after I get the engine in place. So I'm going to make sure that the throttle arm is in the correct position. Then I'm just going to go ahead and get the engine and slide it down and into place. Once the engine is in, all I have to do is retighten the 4 screws that hold it down to the mount, attach the throttle arm, and reattach the exhaust. After that, you can go ahead and reattach the connector for the Easy Start system if you have one. Then you're going to run the fuel line from the top of the fuel tank back to the exhaust, while the other one that comes from the bottom of the fuel tank to the carburetor. Once all that's taken care of, you can go ahead and slap on the air filter, and there's one last thing to do. You can see that there is a slot for the glow plug wire to go through. However, it's on the wrong side. In order to pry it off, you're going to get a flathead screwdriver, go underneath one of these holes, and push it up from below. Once you pry it off, you're just going to rotate it until it's going to be in the position where it's going to protect that wire. Snap it back down. And now all you have to do is slide it down, and you don't want to push it all the way against the heat sink, guys. That will cause it to get messed up. So you just want to push it in between this crease. That way it's protected, but it's not resting against the heat sink. Here is before, and here is after. Guys, that engine is gorgeous. I absolutely love it. I simply love it. Now it's time to go ahead and do the whole break-in method, which, like I said before, I'm not looking forward to. But either way, thank you very, very much, Coyote, for this awesome donation. And that was Titan's Level 11 upgrade.